If we had to start blogging from absolutely zero today, with all the AI chaos, monetization hacks, and more, we do things a lot differently than we would 13 years ago.
We're the Branding Fakes, two solo bloggers who teamed up to future-proof our blogs and social media in the age of AI. And today we're going to break down exactly how we would start over to monetize fast and how you can actually stand out and survive when everyone and their dog is using AI right now. So first, let's do a reality check about the state of blogging. Because blogging right now is a bit of a wild mess. And a big part of that is because there is a lot of content that is being pumped out with AI. So there's a lot of slush that it feels like you either cannot stand out or you cannot compete because of the sheer amount of quantity, but also because Google itself is not working the same way and ad networks are having stricter guidelines. So you really have to figure out how you're going to blog in the age of AI, because let's face it, it's going to be completely different. And I feel like a lot of the blogging gurus and the people that were making a lot of money don't really like that and are not willing to make that change. So I think you need to be the one to make that change now. Because here's the thing, AI is not the enemy when it comes to blogging. You just have to change how you're blogging in the context that you're doing it in, which is why we're giving you the tips on how we would start over if we had to do it right now. I actually feel like right now is the time where blogging goes back to the old school ways, and AI is just going to be there to amplify your content and to help you compete.
So with the rise of AI and your audience being more educated, because readers know now that content creation is a thing, blogging is a thing, they actually know all the tools we use to create content. It has become more commonplace now. So when it comes to monetization, we need to be extra strategic. So if I was starting a blog from scratch today and I wanted to monetize my blog and monetize my audience, I would follow a strict 5-step plan. So the first way to monetize and the path of least resistance is getting to in-platform ads. So if you have a blog, that means joining an ad network. If you're on YouTube and you've qualified, it's turning on the monetization feature so you can earn income, because it's an easy way to not bother your audience for money, but you're still creating content and you're earning an income from that. Now, I know what you're thinking. It might be a long road to you joining those ad networks and turning on monetization on YouTube, but if you have the time and the means to wait, that is the best approach. Now, the second monetization step is affiliate marketing. Now, you can actually start this right out the gate. You don't need to wait for in-platform monetization, but if you can, that would be a close second for me. However, you can start your blog tomorrow, you can start your YouTube channel and throw affiliate links in the video's description or throughout your blog post. So sign up for affiliate programs. The most common one is Amazon. You can join Target, Like to Know It. All these different affiliate marketing platforms, you can sign up and start using links so that you can earn commission when someone makes a purchase. Once you've done some affiliate marketing, then it's completely appropriate for you to reach out to brands for brand partnerships, because now you have the numbers to show, hey, I've made X amount through affiliate marketing. I'm driving X amount of traffic to your brand and your product. So they're more likely to work with you. So then that would be step 3. Step 4 is turning on audience memberships, subscriptions, and offering paid features. So if you're a blogger, maybe it's providing an ad-free experience or bonus content. If you're a YouTuber, it's providing that extra video or content to your members. But audience subscriptions and memberships and asking your audience for money shouldn't be one of the first things you do. That should be closer to the end. And then the very last monetization strategy would be selling products or services. So this could be digital products, physical products, offering services like freelancing or other professional services that you are qualified to do. So those are the 5 steps. I highly recommend you going in order, but it's fair to say you can really start off with affiliate marketing from the jump, especially if you need to make extra money right now. But if you're able to wait, just providing free content and value and waiting until you're able to turn on in-platform monetization can be the big difference with building trust from the jump or selling from straight out the gate.
And after covering how you're going to monetize, I actually think we need to cover strategy and content. And a lot of that is how I'm going to give you this AI survival toolkit, because yes, we're all scared about getting overtaken by AI content. And I think the first thing you need to do in this time is to focus on your strategy. You really need to zoom in on what your audience want. What are they searching for? What are their problems? What are the questions that they have? And you really need to focus on serving that audience, as opposed to just creating the content that you want just because you think that that's the most interesting. I think this is really a time where you have to be really intentional with the content that you are creating more than ever before. I feel like before we were focusing a lot on quantity, and right now you really need to be intentional, focus on quality, and really deliver on what people are looking for. Really think about the search intent of every piece of content that you're putting out, whether that is a video or a blog post. Don't just stuff it with a whole lot of stuff. So everything goes back to really really tight strategy. And I think also the most important thing when it comes to an AI survival kit is that you have to be flexible, because guess what? What's working today may not work 6 months from now, or a year from now, or a year from now, because we don't really know what AI is doing or where it's going. I think being flexible will become one of your best skills that you can master. So really flex those muscles and work on that. I know for me personally, that is very easy to do. I can let go of anything, and I am super happy about it. I mean, I get the most enjoyment of throwing stuff out, as Victoria knows, but I think you really need to be flexible, and that will be the biggest thing that will help you in the age of AI.
So now we need to talk about standing out in the age of AI, because AI is not going anywhere. There is a flood of AI content, but there is still very much a way for you to stand out so that you can grow, increase your traffic and your income. Now, the first thing you're going to have to do is shed everything you thought you knew about SEO, blog post structure, and the like. Now, don't shed the basics. You still need to structure your content accordingly, but having to stuff it with keywords, having it to look a certain way. Actually, when I look back at some old blog posts that even I did, it sounded very robotic and instructional, and I'm telling you what to do instead of actually sharing my experiences. So this is where experience-first content will shine in the age of AI, and it will definitely set you apart. So while we'll keep everything in order with our H1, H2 headings and the like, really lean into original photography. So all those stock photography subscriptions, cancel them now, get out your phone and snap real pictures in real time, including the progress photos, the testing phase when things would fail. You need to include all of that in your content now. And I know you might be concerned with how your photos come out. So in that case, snag or Lightroom presets in the video's description, because that is something I actively use. I'll snap a photo with my phone, I'll upload it real quick into Lightroom, one tap, and my photos look instantly better. We also need to move away from those super long blog posts. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day, all the SEO bros used to say you have to have this super long blog post that has absolutely every single thing about that particular topic in that one blog post, and it would be so long you'd be scrolling for days. That isn't working anymore. What I have been doing is I've been breaking apart those super long blog posts, because yes, I had them. That used to work. That used to get traffic, that used to get views, and that used to make me money. But now in the age of AI, I'm realizing, one, I need to be super specific to my audience and what they're looking for, and also making the information more easy to digest. Also, because search engines have become a lot smarter, and users or readers have become a lot more savvy when it comes to searching. So I've been breaking apart those super long posts. I've been making, I guess you could call them micro blog posts that speak to a specific pain point, and all that fluff that I used to have where I'm stuffing keywords, if I'm honest, and just going on and on about things endlessly, I'm also getting rid of that too. Now I'm really zoning in on talking about my experiences. So if I had to start a blog from scratch today, I would avoid all those old tips and tricks and hacks because they're not working anymore. Instead, I would focus 100% on my personal experiences, what I know to be tried and true. I would avoid stock photography, instead only post original images, including progress photos, testing phases when things don't work out, and just everything a real person would need to know without any of the fluff. So it is very much possible to stand out in the age of AI. It just requires us to, again, go back to that old school blogging approach where we were sharing our authentic experiences. We weren't trying to hack the system. We weren't stuffing keywords and being super targeted. It was almost like a diary, but except now we're being a lot more intentional and strategic about what we're posting, but we're making sure that it is helpful content, that this is things readers are interested in, and we're also showing them the behind the scenes of how we got there. So cut all the fluff and you'll be sure to stand out in the age of AI.
That is actually one of the things I'm most passionate about. So just cut all the fluff. Now, I will say that the next thing we need to talk about when you are starting a blog from scratch is obviously making more money, right? So we have a monetization plan that we gave you that is all about, taking your time with it and going the right way about how you're going to monetize your audience, especially because you want to build trust with that audience. But you might be thinking, well, I don't want to wait necessarily, and I want to be able to scale. So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on how you can scale. The first thing is, most likely your first $100 as a blogger are going to come from affiliate marketing. So that is probably going to be the lowest barrier to entry and where you're going to make your first little bit of money. And as Victoria mentioned in the monetization plan, the first way that you can scale is if you are actively promoting a particular product. So now this is not going to be necessarily for Amazon products, but when you are promoting a particular tool or product or service where you actually went to the company's website, you signed up for their affiliate link, and you've been creating content and getting sales through that affiliate program, you can now actually send out an email to this brand with your affiliate information. They know how much money they've paid out and how many sales you've brought, and you can go go to them with some ideas for brand partnerships that they can do with you. So I think at this point that is something that is very easy to do, and you'll actually have much better response than if you were just approaching them to begin with without having that affiliate history with them, that they're not really going to look at you versus all the other people that are sending them emails. So I think that that would be a great way for you to get brand partnerships, and usually those can be decent money that you can start accumulating. And obviously the more brands you work with, you start having a little catalog, some history, and start approaching more brands. Another thing that I think would be kind of low barrier to entry would be digital products. And now when I say digital products, I mean very low cost digital products. So something that is under $10 that you can sell. Now that is something you can, yes, promote to your audience, start creating some content, maybe a short form content, and see what works. So you're really going to create a lot of pieces of content to promote this low cost product. It can be an ebook, it can be a template, maybe some type of guide. And a lot of times creating all of this content will show you which is the content that's really performing well. And my suggestion would be to throw a little bit of money on ads behind that one piece of content or a couple of pieces of content that perform well, and you're actually getting some sales through the ads. I think that ads are a good way to pour a little bit of gasoline into you getting some sales through digital products, and that is something that is definitely doable and achievable for you to make a little bit of extra money. Maybe that's what's going to take you from $100 to $1,000 before you get to the point where you can qualify for the big ad networks. And now the last idea that I have for you to scale quickly to make more money, and this will not apply to everyone because it's definitely not something I would recommend for hobby bloggers, but if your blog is an extension of basically your day job, like for example, you are an accountant by day and your blog is providing tips as well for people, then if it's an extension of what you're already doing, maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're a dietitian, and that is your day job, and then your content online is just an extension of that, then you can actually add freelance services or consultations as part of your offerings way earlier. So that will definitely increase the amount of money that you can make, and you can pour some money on ads as well to your services because you already have the credentials because of your day job. So you're not solely relying on the credentials and trust that you're building through your online content.
Now, if I was starting a blog from scratch today, one of the biggest benefits would be, one, all my years of experience, but more importantly, I would remember all the mistakes I've made and I'd know what to avoid and what to focus on. Now, when it comes to mistakes, some are tried and true, they always happen, but some are actually new, especially in the age of AI. So one thing that is AI related that I would absolutely not do is actually rely on AI or feel like AI is going to be the death of everything. Now, we know there are bloggers out there using AI, which again, we don't recommend using AI to write your blog post or create any of your content. But for those people who think they're hacking the system, Google is getting smarter. So if you're doing that right now, I highly recommend you stop. And readers are also picking up on it too. So not only will your traffic diminish because Google is getting smarter, but readers can tell content that was created using AI. My mom isn't the most internet savvy, but she's noticed it. And Francesca's mom is definitely online a lot more than mine. And she can tell the AI content, and you know what? Not a fan. Another mistake is bloggers skipping email. I actually think you should be collecting emails from the beginning, even when you feel like no one is reading your blog. While we do recommend promoting your blog and your blog post and sending traffic from social media, it is still very much important for you to own a portion of your audience. And having an email list allows you to do that. I started an email list immediately with my current blog, and I absolutely am happy that I did because my previous blogs I didn't, and it was definitely a huge regret. Now, a mistake I've made with my recent blog is that I was trying to monetize everything too fast. So I would be throwing in affiliate links here, telling people to sign up for a membership, selling merch. I was doing too much too fast. So it's from that experience we came up with the 5-step monetization plan. It's not without reason. You don't want to overwhelm your audience, and you also don't want to come across as salesy. We know this is a job, we know this is a business, but there is a way to approach it so you can build trust with your audience, but also make an income from them. Now, when it comes to setting up your blog, odds are you might have purchased a template from someone somewhere, and usually when you're designing, you're doing things on your laptop or your desktop computer. Now, I highly recommend as you're designing to also toggle between desktop mode and mobile. Because most of the readers on my blog are reading through mobile, and I have purchased so many templates where they're perfect on desktop, but they are so dodgy on mobile. So things look a mess, they're broken, there isn't cohesion, things are at the top when they should be at the bottom, it's just a mess. So be sure to pay attention to that and make the necessary tweaks. Because the last thing you want is for readers to be frustrated and click off your blog. And most importantly, don't give up. There's so many bloggers that start with the best intentions, they're blogging every day or every week, and they've been at it for for a month, 2 months, 3. So many people give up after 3 months. So stick it out. The next benchmark is 6. The next is a year, then 2 years, 5 years, and so on. Because at the end of the day, it's the most consistent bloggers that stand to win. There is a reason why those old blogs have the largest audiences and make the most money. So stick it out. I know it's a long road, but in the end, it will pay off. All right, so that's it. That's our blueprint for building a profitable blog in the age of AI and beyond. But if you're starting a brand new blog from scratch, or you're currently rebuilding your existing blog, let us know in the comments, and also share what are some of your biggest challenges that you're going through right now as you're making the adjustment.
Now, in our next video, we're going to be deep diving the 5 ways that bloggers can make money that are not ads and affiliates, and we're going to help you to choose the one that will work best for you. So if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more tips, tricks, and all the things that you need to start your blogging journey or revamping your existing blog in the age of AI. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.